Rosie and Kez hear what they say, just between us, no need to fuss. They keep it real, help you to heal straight up. Millsy and Kez, straight up. Millsy and Kez, straight up. Millsy and Kez.
Jazz hands. Okay, I feel like we've done that before.
Deja vu?
Yeah, deja vu. We just had like a 5-minute conversation, not recorded. So that's okay. That's Millsy's fault. Firmly pointing finger at you.
Mine, yeah.
Not to blame you, but I'm blaming you.
Sure, why not?
It's all good. It's all good. How are you, Millsy?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Absolutely perfect. So we have actually already been gasbagging for 45 minutes now.
Yeah, nearly an hour.
Yeah, so I started off a conversation with husband about a mentoring walk I had yesterday with Rami Pearson, who created the Coaching Institute, which is like a big coaching school here in Melbourne. I think 90 different countries come to her to learn how to coach and things. Anyway, she actually sold it now, but she's created another club. And just to feel things out, she's created this mentoring in the park thing. And so I signed up for that and we went walking together. And it was all about getting mentored on my business. And long story short, got a lot of clarity around, well, who is your target audience? And one of the things that she said is like, if you were in the middle of a hungry crowd and you had a placard up that would get their attention, what would the placard say? And I'm like, ooh. So I said, how to be a good mum. Like what would actually grab people's attention? Because I think as women, especially, we are always stressing, are we doing enough? Are we being enough? Have I done the right thing? Was I too soft? Was I too stern? Was I this? Was I that? La, 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 la.
Always questioning ourselves, right?
Always questioning ourselves. But then Mark and I were talking about it and it's like, well, I think when like young women, a lot of them are in survival mode. Not a lot of them have the time to really dive deep. So it's more about the afternoon shift or the transition when the kids are a little bit older and women are kind of like, oh well, what now? Because the kids have they're getting older, they're not as time not
They're
as
more
time.
independent. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's all about that kind of like it's like sort of uncovering the relationship that you have with your partner as well, because it's like, I've got more time to focus on you now. Are you still what I want? Like,
Are you still the man I married 20 years ago? Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I would
Could I
hope.
choose you now?
Yeah.
What I know now?
Like, yeah, what do I value now? What are my standards now? Am I willing to, to deal with this now? And like, yeah, it's just interesting. So,
Yes.
yeah, so we're sort of talking about, who my niche is, who the market is, how do you appeal to. Anyway, went into this big long conversation about men's roles, women's expectations, men's expectations. It was very deep, very deep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and Millsy got to participate in it for a good half an hour of it.
I know.
Because the coffee machine broke and I was like, husband,
Husband.
I need your manly man skills.
And Kerry had seen that I'd sent her a Zoom request, so she opened it up on her phone in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just to let me know, well, hang on, coffee first, right?
Yeah. And hence where it is. But I think the crux of it, and I'd be very interested if the listeners would chime in, I think our niche is angry women who are pissed off with being sold the dream of, if you go to school, if you get a job, if you get a mortgage, if you get married, if you have kids, if you do jump through all of these hoops, you will be fulfilled and happy. And then we get to our 40s and it's like, what? No, like, no.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's like we're not unhappy, but like we want more, but we were told that, to have more, you're a bit like you might be selfish or you might be overreaching or so
you mean we're allowed to have dreams that don't revolve around our husbands and children?
Yes.
Really?
My God, how selfish.
I know there's a lot of rage in middle-aged women, right? A lot. And I think around the age of perimenopause is where it starts. I know that that's my truth. So I've been in the stages of peri for I reckon a good 18 months now. And there's no coincidence that that was the same time that, since I've been a certified coach as well, and I'm doing a lot of the inner work to unlayer, the
Yeah.
where I've come from,
Peel back the layers. Yeah. Yeah.
peeling back the layers. Who am I underneath all of the, what do you want for dinner?
Mm.
All of that. There's,
Yeah.
society's expectations. Who am I? I'm
Mm.
a different person. Like when I first had to make some decisions about my life, I was entering the hormonal stage. When we're going through puberty, going through teenage years, when we don't really have to answer to a great deal of people in a way.
Yeah.
Like we don't have dependence on us.
Mm.
So when we enter that, there's a lot of support and a lot of people that are there to guide teenagers, guide young people. And then obviously with motherhood, that's the next major thing that we would go through. There's a lot of support for mothering, newborn stage. But when we're coming out of that hormonal era, there's really not a lot of support. There's not a lot of people talking about it. There's not a lot of it's still a little bit taboo. Like we come across as this angry middle-aged woman because we're losing our hormones. But I think it's a beautiful time that we can actually blossom and discover who we actually are. And the rage is something that is part of that journey.
Yeah. I think the interesting point that you made right at the start of that was like, through our teenage years, we're guided. And it's like, yeah, who are we being fucking guided by? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Who are we being guided by? Like, we're being guided by society's expectations. We're guided by women who have walked a certain path before. We've been guided by the cultural norms. That's who we're guided by. So we've been instilled all of these beliefs and social mores, and just we don't think to challenge any of it when you're
We've been
that.
indoctrinated.
Exactly. We're just like, what do we need to do to survive and belong, basically.
Yeah.
And yet, like, being really mindful of, who are we being guided? We're being guided by people who don't necessarily want to be questioned or challenged because it's inconvenient.
Right. Yeah.
And so we are guided to a certain extent into a mold that when we're 40, we're like, we've either outgrown it or we never really fit into it in the first place. We just thought
we were conforming, but not necessarily to what we wanted. It was what society wanted.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or all that we thought was available to us.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we're young women full of estrogen, this is something I've talked about in my talks before, Kez, you'll remember. So estrogen is the feel-good hormone that makes us want to fit in. It makes us want to, for the safety of ourselves and for when we do have children, for the safety of our young ones, when we are a little bit defenseless on our own. Like you do not want to be kicked out of the tribe when you've got a newborn baby and a toddler, right? So you want the safety of your tribe, and you want to conform, and you want to be the good girl, and you want to do all these things for your own safety and the safety of your children. And so you can probably see things going on that doesn't quite sit well with me, but I'm not here to make a noise about it because I don't want to risk getting kicked out of the tribe, right?
Yeah, that's it. It softens all the hard edges, does estrogen. So you
exactly
will put up with a lot more than what you may
normally absolutely
without the love hormone.
And when we're in peri and menopause, bye-bye estrogen, right? Like that's estrogen's left the chat. So all of a sudden we don't care anymore if we're fitting in or not. We actually want to start standing up for all the things that we just accepted and all the things that we just blindly went along with. We're not here for that anymore because we don't care as much about fitting in anymore because our kids are safe. They're usually grown or, well on their way that they can take care of themselves at this point.
Yeah.
And we don't care so much about fitting in, and we care more about what's authentic and more aligned to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's quite an age.
Yeah. And it rattles cages. And so you've got this dichotomy of thinking of that, like, well, I want to be who I feel like I'm here to be, but who is that going to inconvenience? And people are like, oh, well, you've changed. It's like, yeah, well, thank God, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Someone
it's
had
all,
to.
yeah. And it's kind of like, well, do I belong where I've invested so much time and energy? Do I belong here still now?
Yeah.
So
And the
yeah.
people that notice the most are the people that are inconvenienced the most.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And the ones that will shout the loudest about it are the ones who are, inconvenienced by the change as well.
Mm.
So, yeah. So the way that me and Millsy have, sort of figured out that we can fix it is not like society. I think it's important to understand, the society that we've grown up in, the belief systems that we've been raised with, the expectations, the understanding where we all came from and how we got to where we are. But the most important thing now is it doesn't matter how you got to where you are. It's like, what do you do moving forward? And I
Yeah.
don't think that we're going to change the rules of society, on an individual level. But what you can do is have those conversations with your partner who you decided that you're going to spend your days with. Yeah, or not, divorce and whatever, it's up to you. But if you've
Again,
decided,
is he really inconvenienced by you now? So
yeah, well, exactly. But yeah, but having those conversations around yeah, what do you value now? What are your standards now? And coming at it with like a mutual curiosity, because you're not going to be able to have any conversation without actually having open curiosity about where each other are at. Where are your hopes and dreams now? How are we going to move forward together as a partnership? And yeah, be curious and to hear where each other are coming from, but without taking it as criticism
yeah.
as well. Be curious instead of, because the thing is, we are hardwired to listen out for criticism, because again, that whole we need to belong to the family unit, we need to belong to a tribe of some sort, and so we're hardwired to listen out for criticism, because it's like, oh, they might kick me out because of this. So
Yeah.
when you take all feedback or all conversation as a personal criticism against you, it actually takes a fair amount of emotional maturity to not take it as criticism and actually
Yeah.
take it on as feedback, which is something that I've only learned maybe the last 5 years, I reckon. Because I used
To stop going into defense mode.
yes, to
Yeah.
hear it as criticism and hear it as, okay, so this is just one person's perspective, or this person is actually just trying to help me by giving me a different perspective, not pointing out where I'm going wrong.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
trying to understand the difference. Is this just a projection of them?
Mm.
Or is this actually something I can be working on? So it depends like where it's come, like the intention behind it as well can
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
considered.
absolutely. Like if you go like yesterday with the Remy mentoring session, like when you like Remy can be very
Mm-hmm.
direct, and a lot of people have been are quite intimidated by her. Um, and yeah, that's the correction to make. And I definitely was intimidated by her when I first had interactions with her, because she'd be very direct and she would just call you on your shit like immediately.
Ah,
And that can be, for someone who's not used to that, it can be very like, oh, what have I done? Have I offended you, sort of thing. But understanding that everything that she says is there to help you, and it comes from a genuine place of love and wanting you to succeed, then you
yeah.
can take on the feedback. But yeah, not everyone has those intentions either. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's knowing where it's coming from.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mm,
it's hard. It's
mm,
hard. Um, so in our chat that we had prior to the record button being hit
mm.
with our husband of the show is
Yeah. Love the show.
is we were because we were talking about being, I think, just remind me, because we were talking about being in fight or flight, and that made me think of a thing that my husband actually picked up on. So, do you remember what we were talking about with
No,
the?
I don't think we mentioned fight or flight. When did we mention fight or flight?
Oh, I
We
thought we
mentioned
did.
Fight Club.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I remember once. I think I was sharing with my husband Ash about going back to fight and flight, about how when we haven't completed the cycle,
Mm.
We can really feel ourselves getting worked up. So
Yeah.
when we get triggered, just say the trauma response, we're triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's explained to me once, if you go for a run, that's
It's
as if you're in
like,
flight.
yeah.
And the hormones that are released during exercise, is it
Mm.
endorphins? I think it is.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yep.
I don't exercise, I don't know. But so
All
I'm
right,
told. So I'm told endorphins kick in. Back when I used to do step Reebok, I used to love that rush, that endorphin
Mm.
rush.
Mm.
So that's our reward, and that tells our body we're safe now. So
Yeah.
just say we're running from the tiger,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden we've outrun them. Okay, our body is then flooded with endorphins
Mm-hmm.
to regulate ourselves back to baseline.
Yeah. What it
Okay.
also does as well is it uses up the cortisol that was released, which is
Yes.
stress hormone. So you're being chased, you see a saber-toothed tiger, you're flooded with cortisol, that gets your heart pumping and the blood moving to your muscles so you can run. So when you do that exercise, it helps to use that up. So it's not just simmering in your system going,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So as I was explaining to Ash, going for a run when you feel all like this is actually a brilliant way to close the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he made the point, and well done, Ash, because I hadn't actually connected that dot yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is this why sometimes you pick a fight? I went,
To complete
oh,
the loop.
because when you're in a safe space, which Ash and I are safe together,
Mm.
we both know that if we pick a fight with each other, that's not the end of our marriage, right? We know
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
it's a safe place to fight. So if you get nitpicky with each other, or if you get a little bit aggro with each other,
Mm.
you want to pick a fight. And that's another way of completing the cycle, because then you feel like you've done something.
Hmm.
What do you think of that?
That's an interesting
Mm,
point of view. It could be, yeah. There's a little bit of that. It doesn't quite sit right
mm,
with me. I think you pick the fight to kind of scratch a deeper itch,
yeah,
I think. And it could be, the four main needs, which is, am I being seen?
yeah,
Am I significant and important to you?
yeah,
It's sometimes it's that connection as well, and even sometimes a bad connection is better than no connection whatsoever.
yes,
So it's that connection, or it could be safety of like I'm gonna pick a fight with you, and you're still gonna come back to me, so I feel safe.
yeah,
Or it could be that bit of excitement. So those are the four core human. Well, there's six according
yeah,
to
yeah,
Tony Robbins, but the main four are significance and importance. So it could be meeting that need, connection, safety, knowing that he's not going to leave. So I can pick this fight with you, but I know that you're not going anywhere, so that makes me feel safe. Or
yeah,
it could be I need that little bit of excitement and a little bit of drama.
yeah.
So I'm
So
going to
go
put.
back to the safety one. So
Mm-hmm.
if you think that I know that this is a safe place, that I can pick that fight and you're not going to leave, so I need to satisfy that need in me to complete a cycle, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not about to go for a run, so I'm going to pick a fight instead.
Yeah, yeah, could be
Hmm.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's interesting point of view for sure. It
yeah.
it brings me back to, and I'm not quite sure what the connection is, but the thing that comes up in my head, excuse me, is David Hawkins. I started listening to his his book Letting Go, and it's like maybe you're not exhausted from carrying the load. You're exhausted from holding in the feeling that you have holding that you're exhausted from holding in how you feel about carrying the load.
Yes.
So maybe the fight is like, I want you to see me in my stress.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So another train of thought was
Mm-hmm.
um, when you everything serves a purpose and is meeting a need on some level. So if you're anxious or you're stressed or whatever, who do you want seeing you in your stress and anxiety? So okay, so as a I don't know, an example, I often tell Mark when I'm feeling, I've been like absolutely neck deep in forms for Ashton at the moment because we're setting him up for leaving school in a year and a half. And so I have spent literally, I reckon last week, 5 hours filling in forms, talking to OTs. Like it was a lot last week. There was a lot going on. And sort of then saying to him, oh, here I am, I'm carrying the invisible load. Like I would actually say to him, here's the invisible load I'm carrying. I did this for, yesterday, la, la, la. It's kind of, oh yeah. But it's like, I want him to see me in that because it makes me feel recognized then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So maybe picking the fight is a little bit of that. I'm stressed. Can you see me? Straight, like, yeah. And what do you need from
You're
that?
bringing significance to what you've gone through so that they acknowledge it.
Yes. Yeah.
So because let's face it, we're sick of the invisible tasks, right? I spent 2 hours yesterday with AGL trying to get a better deal on our electricity. Do you think Ash gives a shit? No.
Yeah.
Right? But I did it.
Yeah.
I've also lined up doctor's appointments for Charlie. I've got Isla's birthday party during the school holidays. Like that was a big day. And I still did like 3 loads of washing and vacuumed the house and scrubbed the bathroom. Like, no, I've got really at the end of the day, I don't have a lot to show for it. What was a grueling day.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they come home from work ready to crack a beer and sit on the
yeah. Like, and sometimes you just want that acknowledgement of right. Like, good job, I see what you do and I appreciate you. That's really all we need. And yeah, oftentimes, don't get that.
Yeah. So we need to almost complain or moan.
Yeah. And that's when we get resentment because we're not being recognized. And then we get passive aggressive because we don't actually want to say, hey, can you just acknowledge the 5 hours of forms I filled in today? Because that seems really needy and selfish and petty and childish. So then we're like, oh God, I'm carrying the emotional load and la 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 la. So we get passive aggressive and then they don't actually ever acknowledge us, but then we can't actually blame them for not acknowledging us because we never actually said anything in the first place. And it's this whole vicious cycle of like stupidism.
And then we start being bitches and getting nitpicky because we want the fight.
That's it. Yeah, it's like
Maybe we should have just gone for a run.
Yeah. So end game. Go for a run. Yeah.
Go for a run. And there's something to that, I think, because nervous system regulation is huge. Yes. I think that is, to my core, what I'm here to talk about is nervous system regulation. Like that's what I was so lit up about the EFT tapping. Like that's vagus nerve stuff. Like so bringing ourselves back to safety. So we get triggered so much and we get taken back to that moment when we were 8 and someone told us, you did a shit job on that picture that you just painted and spent an hour on. And then we get a little bit like we're not good enough and we get upset and we don't know what to do with it. And so we bury it and we become that good girl that like, and then we might, where it takes you. So, we get triggered and taken back to those moments in time in childhood that have shaped us and we don't know what to do with it. But doing a bit of like emotional regulation, nervous system regulation, vagus nerve work, it solves, shall I say, solves the right word, but it moderates us so much more back to our norm. If our baseline, we want our baseline to be up here, not down here.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
I actually did a masterclass called Burnout a couple of years ago now, and I'll send you the link to because it's on my YouTube channel. Operation Abundance HD.
Put it in the show notes, shall we?
Yeah, pop it in the show notes. And it was there is a book called Burnout, which I probably have behind me here somewhere. And it was all about that. So it's all about that You know, we used to be, so that the normal cycle, the stress cycle was saber-toothed tiger, flooded with cortisol, gotta run. So you either run or you fight. You either get eaten, so then you don't have to worry about flushing out your cortisol because you're dead and you've been eaten anyway. Or you kill the saber-toothed tiger, you take it back to the village, big celebration, lots of endorphins, woohoo, we've slayed it. You have the saber-toothed tiger for dinner, stress loop complete. But nowadays, we, as you say, we're triggered by stuff like our bosses being an asshole, or this is the kids are making you run late or whatever. You can't kill your boss, you can't kill your children, you can't kill the source of the stress, so you internalize it. And that's when you need to complete it. And it went through, I did say in the burnout masterclass, there are like 5 different ways that you can neutralize or allow that loop to finish. I can't think of what they all were. I remember one of them was kissing for 10 seconds, which can lead to a whole other
that does that.
Yeah,
that triggers a hormonal flood.
So like one with was like patting a dog, kissing for 10 seconds, hugging for 10 seconds. There was a whole heap of stuff. Yeah, exercise, go for a walk, go for a run. Yeah, lots of ways that you could finish that stress, anxiety loop that you have. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll pop that in the show notes and have a little week. It was a few years ago now, but it was a good one.
Yeah. I'll link that in. Excellent.
Yeah. So there you go.
What else is going on, Kez?
Did
we talk about our event?
Yes, let's talk about the event. Yes. So September 11, everyone, if you are in Adelaide at that particular point in time, especially around the 2 p.m. mark, if you're at the Adelaide CBD, you might want to come down to Bar Cuba because we are having our Millsy and Kez Unplugged. That's it. I forgot what we were calling it, but yeah, Unplugged.
Well, sadly, our other soul sister, Kathy, is unavailable to join us. Otherwise, it would have been another trio. But because it's just the old Mills and the old Kez, not so old, actually. Sorry.
Not so old. Not so
old.
Yeah.
The delightful Mills and the fabulous Kez. So we thought we'll just be unplugged. So we're each going to do a half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. We're each doing a presentation.
Yes.
And then at the end, we're opening it up. Ask us anything. We might even do a little bit of hot seat coaching if there's any game people in the audience, or literally ask us anything and we'll carry on.
Yes. So I thought a little bit of self-sabotage might be fun to talk about that. Why do we self-sabotage? Because I think it's a lot of what women around our age can relate to. It's like, I know what to do, so why don't I do it? And it's like, well, you do what you do because you get something out of it. So we're going to be talking about
it's all a strategy, right?
It is. Everything is a strategy, and we do what we do because we get something out of it. So it's talking about what it is that we get out of it, and how to solve it, how to find something else, how to dive a bit deeper. So it's all about the shadow work, which I love, diving into the deep dark depths of our conditioning, and figuring out what it is that we are getting from it. And we've even hinted on it, in the just previously. What are we getting out of it? There's always core human needs that we tap into, and it is service on some level. Otherwise, we simply would not do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And mine is kind of about, I'm calling it the great unfawning, why midlife isn't a crisis, it's a homecoming. So again, it's about unpeeling the layers. We just touched on before fight or flight. There's also freeze, and very newly, only back in the 90s, fawn was added as the 4th F. And it's very insidious and it's very hard to pick up on sometimes. But I know from my personal experience and my history, that's what I've become in a way to get through some trauma. I became a fawner, which means people pleasing, which means putting on the mask, being what people expect and not saying a word and shutting up. And now that, again, loss of estrogen, hello perimenopause, I'm now questioning everything, going, why the hell did I abandon myself for decades because of one stupid event that made me fawn?
Yeah.
So it's, yes, there should be, sounds like it's going to be a bit sad, but it's not. It's going to be very uplifting, and I hopefully everyone can see a part of themselves in my story too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think fawning especially is a woman's default go-to.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to the whole we do what we do because we get something out of it. So like it's about understanding what the fawning is and understanding what we're getting out of it. What do we get out of it? What do we get to avoid from doing it? Like
Yeah.
all the things. Really like deep conversation. And I hope that having this conversation in an environment where it's a little bit more lighthearted and where we can have a bit of a laugh at ourselves, it's going to sort of emotionally anchor in the points that we bring up in these talks and give you something to think about when you go home. So in those moments when you do the things that you don't know why you do them, it's going to go, oh, hang on, that's right. Milsey and Kez were talking about this. What am I getting out of it? Yeah, so like it will anchor in and will just help you to question and get curious around. It's not about blaming yourself, because a lot of things we do, they're unconscious. Like we don't realize we're doing it because we're getting something out of it. But it's about making the unconscious conscious. Like Carl Jung says, unless you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Because you go, oh, why do I keep on attracting these men? Why do I keep on doing this? It's like, it's because there's an unconscious pattern going in the background that you're not recognizing. But then when you draw awareness to it, it's like, I can actually throw a spanner in that little loop that I've got going, and I can choose to change it. I can move through what has stopped me and what I'm getting out of it, and I can choose then to change it. So, yeah.
The vast majority of our brain, you might know, Kez, is it something like 20% is conscious, 80% is unconscious, or something?
5 to 95. 5% of
Stop it. Is it that much?
5%. Yep, 5%.
All right. So 95% of our brain is in the shadow, in the darkness. It's running on old programs and beliefs that were usually cemented in during childhood and adolescence, and that's running the show. That is running the show.
So the behaviors and the strategies that you learned from birth to 7 years old, everything that you've seen, everything you've witnessed, how you believe the world is, a lot of that was cemented in the first 7 years of life. So if you think back to your childhood, what did you see? What did you see your mum do? What did you see your dad do? How did you see how they interacted with each other? Your siblings, what were they up to? Like what, all of that, how we believe the world to be, got cemented in there. And once it's sort of cemented in, doesn't mean to say that you can't get rid of it, but it's a lot more unconscious. We're not often aware of it. And it's not until you really start diving deep into the why do I do this? Why do I think that? And like really meditating on it, it's like, oh my God, I think that because that's how my mum was, or that's how my sisters were, or that's just how life was when I was a kid. Like, and until you question it, it's just going to keep running.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is so much of that is what I've been trained in with the adult chair method, and the way my teacher Michelle Chalfont talks about it is, imagine that, when you get a new iPhone, it's got an operating system, and that operating system for us is during the up until around the age of 7. That's the operating system built into our bodies. And unless you update it along the way to say that's not accurate anymore, this, replace the old belief with a new belief, most people don't do that. It's like, do you say yes every time your phone wants to auto update? Like, if you were trying to run your life today on an operating system from potentially 40 years ago, it's clunky, it doesn't work, it's not what we want. So
Yeah.
to be able to go and do the work to update that operating system to today's standards and who you are today and what society looks like today,
Yeah.
that's going to rewire so much of our core beliefs.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to know what your beliefs are, so if you think about any section of your life, any part of, so whether it be your relationship with your intimate partner, relationship with your kids, relationship with your business, relationship with your job, whatever it is, and you're not, wherever you're not happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Think it, like, reality is a mirror. So to get to the beliefs of, like, what are my core beliefs around, I don't know, how relationships are, think about what you're getting at the moment, what's your experience in your relationship at the moment, and understanding that reality is a mirror, and what you are putting into the mirror is exactly what you're getting back. So it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
So when you think about the experience that you're having with your intimate partner, as an example, right now, so if I'm not feeling seen, I'm not feeling heard, I'm not, like, it's his fault for everything, like, la la la. What do you need to believe about yourself and your world for that to be your experience? So that's how you kind of get to the core beliefs of what you're experiencing. So if something's not going right for you, yeah, what do you need to think and believe about your world to be getting that as your feedback? And that kind of helps you to really dive into, what's my story, what's my belief around this. So as we shared before when we were off air, Millsy,
Mm.
I had a belief that marriage was meant to be hard, and marriage was meant to be, I was meant to be nitpicky and always criticizing, and, like, not ever really happy, or, like, that was my belief. And so that's what I created, because we love being right,
Yeah.
and what we believe is what we will see. So it's like, so you have to really go, is that actually true? That's interesting. Is that actually true? And then what do you want? And then instilling that belief into,
Mm.
like, getting rid of that old one and putting in the new one that is actually going to serve you better. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Mm,
definitely.
mm, yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love the whole reality mirror thing. It's like, well, if this is my experience, what am I putting in? What data am I putting in?
right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Because what you grow up with is your normal. And
Exactly.
what's normal is generally or kind of what is safe. You've gotten through that experience and you're alive to tell the tale. So that makes that safe. But
Exactly.
even if it was traumatic and even if it was full of events that,
Trauma.
you know,
Yeah.
trauma, any other person might go, oh my God, how are you still functioning? Because that's normal.
Yeah.
That's safe.
Because
That's they
it's
they
familiar and
they've
you're alive.
survived it. So therefore
Exactly.
their nervous system and their unconscious, that's safe because you've survived it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, where was I going to go with that? See, this is the menopause. So many things have just
Grateful.
fallen out of my freaking head this week. It's just been unbelievable. Oh, what was I going to say? Learned helplessness. Yeah, a lot of our beliefs give us learned helplessness. So it's like,
Mm,
little baby elephant that's been taken from its mother gets tied to a stake in the ground in the middle of the village. And that
yeah.
little baby elephant pulls and tugs and tugs and pulls and can't get loose from that stake.
Yeah.
And as it grows up, absolutely, that elephant can, pull the stake out of the ground and storm the village, but it doesn't believe that it can, because it didn't in its childhood. So it just stays in the middle of the village as a grown ass elephant, not ever challenging whether they could pull the stake out of the ground.
Right.
So, yeah, unless we recognize what our beliefs are and then challenge them, we're going to be stuck there.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I've put it on one of my Instagram posts. It's about, the fleas in the jar. They jump
Yeah,
as high as the lid,
as the
and then
lid.
all of a sudden you take the lid off, they won't jump any higher because they've never been shown that they can.
Mm-hmm.
And when those fleas have babies, even the babies don't do it either because
Yeah.
they see the generation before them. That's
Mm-hmm.
as high as they go. So that's what they've learned.
Yeah, exactly. There's another really interesting story that I was told a long time ago now about, this is actually brilliant. Okay, so monkeys, right? Chimpanzees,
Yes.
ladder, bunch of bananas on the top of the ladder, right? So the chimpanzees are sort of sitting around and they're going, oh, bananas up the ladder. So they climb up the ladder, but as soon as they climb up the ladder, someone sprays them with a fire hose full of freezing cold water.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
and then they don't, and then the next one tries to climb the ladder, they get this like this. So this happening a few times, they're learning if they go for the bananas, they're gonna get squirted.
So they
And
all get punished.
yeah. So,
Yes.
one of anyway, either or,
Yeah.
they know that there's going to be they can't get the bananas unless they want to get squirted, right?
Right.
And so then they have babies, and the babies are like, "Oh, look at that, bananas!" And they go to climb the ladder, and all the chimpanzees are like, "No, no, no!" And they pull them off the
Yeah.
ladder. And
Yeah.
so all the baby knows is that I can't get those bananas because if I try, everyone pulls me off. So it's that kind of
Yeah.
like so we really are the victim of our parents and our childhood conditioning and beliefs.
And ancestral trauma has just entered the chat. So,
Yes, there we go.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could have generations of
Yeah.
chimpanzees like just knowing not to go up the ladder, even though
Yeah.
they don't know why,
Yeah.
but they know they can't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got this internal cap. So yeah, interesting conversation. I just remembered that a friend of mine
Yeah.
told me that when I was in my 20s. Well, and it's just come back to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
look, there's lots of examples
Challenge the
and
beliefs.
stories about all of that. I know, right?
Mm.
So, look, everyone's learning something when they listen to us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Kez, are we going to have a scenario?
Oh, I didn't even think of a scenario. We can do
We
a
got time to
scenario.
slip one in because I've got
Yeah,
one here for us.
we'll slip in a quickie.
All right. All right. This is one that I came up with a couple of months ago because I don't know that we did one the last couple of times. But anyway, here we go. So I have not looked at this one for a very long time. And Kez, you've never heard this before.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
this is real hot seat coaching here, right?
I love flying by the seat of my pants.
Here we go, people.
Okay.
Okay, anonymous.
Oh, God, anonymous. Hot mess.
The hot mess that is anonymous. Okay. I'm getting married in 6 weeks and I don't want to change my last name. I'm a 30-year-old nurse with 2 degrees and a home, and I'm attached to my name both personally and professionally and don't want to deal with the paperwork involved in changing it. My fiance thinks that keeping my last name means I have 1 foot out the door and won't fully commit to our family. But I've even suggested that he takes my name and he refuses because he feels the same attachment to his. The disagreement keeps coming up, even in wedding planning, since I want decor with both of our first names and he wants his last name displayed. And I'm worried that this will always be a source of conflict. I'm starting to question whether I'm wrong for standing firm, and I'm even considering cancelling the wedding over it.
Whoa.
What does that bring up for you?
I would say that there needs to be a conversation based around curiosity, because there is obviously 2 very specific hills that these people are willing to die on here.
Right.
And yeah, it's all about having that conversation of like, this is what my last name means to me, and him having that conversation saying, this is what you taking my last name means to me. And yeah, figuring it, understanding though that like you can't change another person, but if you're committed to having a marriage with this person, like, I mean, to me it seems like such a trivial thing, like, but I mean, not to like a trivial thing in that, like, I can't believe that he's carrying on so much about changing a last name. Like, it doesn't, yeah, I mean, it goes.
Doesn't hold the same weight as it used to, right? Because it was almost unheard of for a woman to keep her name, right? Because this is such big ties back to patriarchy where women were property.
Yeah.
Right? That hasn't been a thing for a long time now, but the tradition remains. And like, I took my husband's name, you took Mark's name. Like, it's becoming more and more common where women don't.
Yeah. It sounds like a conversation that needs to be seeped in curiosity as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to judgment and digging your heels in. The Gottmans are really good around resolving conflict within a relationship. So I would probably
Mm-hmm.
recommend that they look at, they've got a book called Fight Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about coming into arguments with curiosity and understanding each other's perspective
Mm.
around it. And then, yeah, coming to some sort of common ground and having to like accept that person, like after hearing what each other says with curiosity, coming to accept whatever that person's decision is and knowing that it doesn't change the relationship or who they are. It should make you love them more for them being who they are, I guess. So yeah, that would be a conversation that I would be encouraging if she was to come to me for coaching. That would be the conversation that I would be encouraging her to have. And
Mm.
then, yeah, how highly do you value and have that as a standard? And yeah, is it a make or break?
Mm.
Because if he's like this on one thing, well, does it mean that he's going to be something, like that in other things? So yeah, I'd be curious about
Yeah.
what his beliefs
Is
are.
is he willing to bend? Is he willing to let her be seen as not an extension of him?
Yeah.
I mean, she's obviously worked hard and has qualifications in her maiden name, her family name,
Mm.
and is not wanting to have that be irrelevant anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I know of a few women who, yeah, they've got like their uni degree and they're like a doctor with um, their maiden name, and they choose to practice under like Dr. Maiden,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but then, they'll get the electricity billed to Mrs. his
Yeah.
name. Like
Yeah.
they sort of,
Mm.
a bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know of a lot of that, or they do the hyphen name. They
Mm-hmm.
become Mr. and Mrs. And it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting because all of the women I know who've done that, only she's got the hyphen, not him.
Exactly. There's still that, isn't it? Yeah.
There's still that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just say it would have to be one of those open conversations. And once you have that conversation, then where do you want to take it from there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that conversation that has to take place first before any decision can really be made. But yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm.
how do you feel about it when he says she's not committed if she doesn't take his name? What
Well,
does
then
that
you
bring up?
can easily bounce that back and say, "Well, you're not committed for taking my name." Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's and it comes down to that trust as well. It's like, well, if you don't trust me, that I'm marrying you because I want that commitment. Like, a name shouldn't
Mm.
make any difference, really.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Let us know, audience, if this has been an issue if you've had a marriage with
Mm,
a name concern. Did you
yeah.
take did you take your
When
partner's name? Have you hyphened? Have you kept your own name?
when my sister-in-law got married to her partner Claire, so it's the same-sex marriage,
Yep.
they both hyphenated their names.
Okay.
So yeah, they're both Garnham Thorne now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, why not do that? Like if it's such a big, why can't they both have hyphenated names?
Mm.
Bring it both together. Who knows? Who knows? But
Yeah.
I've also got a friend who didn't change her name when she got married and then had kids and then changed her name after that and then had to change the kid's name as well because she had them under her maiden name. So yeah, so it
Right.
ended up being a bigger situation than what it needed to be. So yeah, it just really
Yeah.
depends on what you what.
Seems to be a Western thing. I worked with a lady who was Indian, and
Mhm.
when you marry in India, you don't take the name.
Mhm.
You, so it can be a little bit, you can't always distinguish if it's a married couple or not because they don't share a name. That's just
Oh,
common.
mhm.
Um, and she said, no, that's not a thing. And the children would generally take the father's name, I think she said. So she has a different name to her son.
Mhm.
But they don't work with family lines the same way. That's not their custom,
Mm.
I think, in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah. It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I do feel like it does come to that belonging. Yeah, you belong to me kind of
Yeah.
thing.
There's
Yeah.
definitely ownership involved.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe like from a feminine leaning back perspective, maybe why I changed my name was because I like that feeling that I belong to my husband, maybe. So
Mm.
yeah, whether I would change a name now, I don't know. I
I,
don't know.
it wasn't a thing. Like it didn't occur to me not to change my name.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
When I
that's that whole learned helplessness thing, is it? It's like we just thought it was the
It's
way it
just
was.
what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Mark, hey
Um,
love, Mark, would you have been put out if I didn't change my last name to Thorne?
I didn't hear it.
If I didn't change my maiden name when we got married.
Kept your maiden name
Yeah,
for a professional reason, like, you know.
yeah. Can you hear this?
No.
Yeah.
I would worry about it.
Can you come in here, love?
Yeah, if you had like a reason for like a professional reason,
If
for
I had a
like
professional
career
reason.
or something, but if you didn't want to take my maiden name, I'd be like, why?
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd kind of be like, oh,
So,
okay, why?
so you would be put out?
But yeah, I'd just be asking why, because yeah, I just want to know why.
Mm.
If you gave me a good reason for it, I'd be like, I'm still going to marry you. I wouldn't change that.
What if I asked you to change your last name to Burns?
Well, I'm like the last one of my family chain.
Oh,
So
he's the last one of his family chain.
Mm.
So I'm like,
I could be the last
I
one.
feel a little bit like, oh, I don't want to do that because like the name can like, continue.
But it wouldn't be a no-brain. Like we wouldn't not get married.
No,
For yeah.
no, I wouldn't be a marriage breaker, but no,
No.
I'd just be like, because a lot of women keep their like normal name, you know, like they become a school teacher and they want to be seen.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we're on a podcast though. Yeah, don't go too
sorry.
deep. I just want to know yes or no.
Yeah. Change it if you had a reason.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. He's done some hard yards this morning, hasn't Mark?
Yeah, he's dug deep. Yeah, so I would definitely. I mean, this anonymous is a nurse with. Let me just see again what it said. She's a 30-year-old nurse with 2 degrees. So she's obviously progressive. She's obviously well educated.
Yeah.
So that whole feeling of being someone's property probably doesn't sit the same way as someone who's not that inclined.
I'd be open and curious to the conversation, but I would certainly like if this is something that he is gonna say no to the marriage about, or if he's gonna bring it up enough times to make her reconsider marrying him, like
if he's going to weaponize it against her.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, yeah. If he's going to use that against her, what else, later on is there going to be an issue about? Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah. So as always, whenever there's a communication breakdown or people that don't get along, it's always question with curiosity. It's always come from an compassionate, empathetic viewpoint to seek to understand.
Yes.
Is that what you'd say?
The whole thing is like when we go into conversations like this, we don't seek to understand, we seek to be right.
Yeah.
It's about, not necessarily not needing to be right. And there's a whole tribal thing around, why being right is so important to us. But it's about, getting the other person's perspective and taking it into consideration and then saying no.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Because if you love this person, you don't want them to feel that they've sacrificed something that means a real lot to them, whether it's their name, whether it's any other number of things that you could potentially lose within yourself in a marriage.
Yeah.
Like if it means that much to them, do you really want your loved one to go without when it means so much to them?
Exactly.
Like, what do you want to punish them? I don't. Yeah,
it means a lot to them. Why would you not want that for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Problem solved.
All right, should we wrap this baby up?
I
We
think so. I have got lots to do though. I've got to go to
yes,
I've got to do lots
indeed.
today. Yeah.
All right. Well, as
Cool.
always, tell us your scenarios, give us your feedback. If any of what we've said resonated, if you've got your own point of view, you want, maybe we haven't thought of something and you want to pipe up, please, we are here for it.
We would love another perspective. We would love it.
Absolutely. We're quite happy to be proven wrong.
Yes, happy to be wrong. Always.
Yeah. And if you want more of just our banter and just being in our presence and our aura, just get yourself a ticket to Mills and Kez Unplugged in Adelaide from 2 o'clock on the afternoon of Friday, the 11th of September. You get food and some drinks and community of like-minded people.
Exactly.
Connection.
It's a core need. It's a core human need.
Definitely.
Belonging, connection. Absolutely. Alrighty.
Okay. We'll see you next time. Bye.